What's up, everyone? Well, thanks for joining me today for another video. We're talking fridges. Coda and I are going to review the ICECO JP50, an affordable option into portable fridges, right, Codes? I've had this fridge mounted in the Jeep now for about a month, and I've taken it all over Arizona and into Sand Hollow in Utah. Dude, let's dive into some details. Go get him. Go get him. Okay, so stoked to test out this fridge. This is one of the more budget-friendly fridges that I've had. Runs about 500 bucks. I've owned multiple Dometics, 45 quart, and then their recent CFX 95, which I loved. And then I've also owned an Angle and used like Friends ARBs and stuff like that. The thing that really got my attention with this is it looks a lot like the ARB fridge. It's designed very similar. It's got this big top-loading vertical door kind of thing going on. Also wanted to chat with you about what I'm powering it off of briefly. I've done plenty of reviews on the MaxOak power stations, but that's really important part of the conversation. Also, I love the fact that this thing comes with an insulated cooler little cover dealy bob. Let's get it in there. Let's get it in its home here. Wait, how's that supposed to go? This thing actually, look at that, closes all the way up. So yeah, awesome to see that ICECO just included that with it. The ARB and other similar fridges, you have to buy this thing extra, and it can be up to like 80, 100 bucks. So I love that they included that. That is just a nice extra. I also like how the bag has some pockets on the side so you can store stuff. So by my calculations, this fridge is approximately 20 inches tall, 23 inches deep, and only 14 inches wide. So as you can see here, it fits in the Jeep great, with plenty of room to spare, and it really is the perfect shape and size for a Jeep fridge. Now, one thing with this longer top-loading door, it goes farther up into the roof, whereas when you have the side door, then this, for example, as you can see, so you need more room for this lid to come up. You need a lot more dead space available to open that door. But I love this clip here. That's my favorite part about it. The fact that you can just clip it, open it up, drop it down, and it's clipped and ready to go. The ICECO JP50. I never secured it down inside the Jeep. It has been bouncing around a little bit, and it's been working great. These do actually have the same compressors as Angle fridges, which is something that really caught my eye and made me want to test this thing out. And as far as the compressor goes, this compressor is extremely quiet. This is the quietest compressor I've ever had in any fridge I've owned. The Angle especially was way louder than I thought, and it was just in the Jeep. If it was in a camper where I was sleeping, it might get a little bit annoying. So I really like how quiet the compressor is on this fridge. That's probably the single best thing that I've noticed compared to other fridges. I also really like the top. It's got some grip on the top and these little ridges, and it looks cool. It feels good. You can hop up and sit on it, and it feels pretty solid. The top and the lid does flex maybe a little bit when you sit on it compared to others, but overall it's great. So you can see when they're next to each other, the Angle's a little bit wider, but the ICECO is a little bit taller. Now, again, the ICECO is a 10 quarts more. The Angle's also a little bit longer. So overall, the Angle is bigger, and it's less capacity. The big difference here is the two styles. This fridge comes up, you know, hatch like that. This is the whole lengthways. I love the latches on the ICECO the latch system, I should say. Just one button like that versus like this style on the angle. These are kind of chintzy, and I don't know, these could break. And also, like, this is what you're doing every time. You're click, click, and then open, and clickety, click, clam. It's not too bad, but at the same time, that's way better. As you can see as well, the Max Oak is right at home. The design of this Max Oak is just perfect for what I've got going on here in this layout, because you can see this is the 2400 Max Oak, so it's really long. It's actually almost as long as the whole fridge, but it just squeezes up in there so nice. And I got my Claymore headlamp chilling here, so I can turn this on and have that area kind of lit up. Also do SOS, which is nice. And yeah, I just keep these on my headrests, just like most Overlanders, so that we can have light whenever we need. I had the fridge just sitting on this super cheap, simple wood platform right next to, just kind of wedging in the Max Oak power plant. You can see there's a little bit of scratches and things like that on it from wear. I chose not to mount anything down because this is kind of a modular setup right now that's ever changing until I get the camper on. Still my favorite power station, the old Max Oak. Be sure to check out the link below for that, and of course the ICECO fridge. Sorry, I actually use all my stuff, and so you're gonna find like random food items while I'm reviewing it. It's just the way it is, guys. Yeah, it's kind of fun. They give you this little chart, recommended temperatures for things, and then the dead space behind here, there's quite a bit. Like I said, you can fit a lot of things in there that'll stay cool for the most part. Also, I like that it has a light. So as far as what you actually get with the unit, of course it comes with multiple different plugs, the cigarette lighter plug and the AC plug. It does come with an extension cord as well for the cigarette lighter, so you could run this a lot farther away from the fridge. So I really like that. Obviously it comes with optional handles in here as well that you can mount on. I've chosen not to mount these just because I feel like the fridge is actually really easy to pick up without the handles and move around. It's pretty light overall, and yeah, I just didn't really feel like I needed the handles sticking out because that'll just make it bigger overall, bigger footprint. Another thing I noticed that's a little bit of a con with this fridge, and it might be just the design of it that it's so tall, but either way, the food towards the bottom gets very frozen versus the food towards the top. Now, this is a common fridge thing. I've heard a lot of people say this, regardless of the brand that it does this, but in my experience, the Dometic fridges I've had are pretty good overall at keeping that temperature pretty consistent. Of course, the lower down it is going to be cooler in any fridge, but I feel like the Dometic is, there's just less of a variable in the temperatures between the food or drink on the top versus the bottom. So just something to consider when you're packing and overall managing all the food in the fridge. That's our friend with the chainsaw you might hear in the end of our videos. He's doing work up there. Pretty crazy, huh? I'm like, man, get your chainsaw sound out of my video. And then I look over and he's like at the top of this tree. Like, I'm like chilling down here, just doing a casual video. So your job is way harder than mine today, bud. Cheers to you. Now, the one thing and my one kind of qualm with this, and this is actually an easy fix, when you plug in the cigarette lighter, it's got kind of a spring that comes back. And I've actually had times where the fridge was off because this had bounced out. So you could always just plug in, get a different cord, a different cigarette lighter that doesn't quite have that same spring back. So that's been the thing that I've noticed, where I have to check and just make sure the fridge is on and that this cigarette lighter hasn't popped out. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review of the ICECO JP50. Really think this is a great option for a more budget-friendly fridge. And it checks all the boxes, gets the job done. So really enjoyed it. Check out the links in the description below to these products. Comment, of course, let me know what you think. Love to have you subscribe to the channel. We're going to be ramping up again here soon. 2020, we've had some great videos. I've been really stoked on the year overall. But it's been a little bit different in selling the Dodge Mahal and now building this Jeep Gladiator. And we're on the brink of some really epic things happening with the Gladiator and some more big adventures. So I'm stoked to have you along for the ride. If you really want to support the Down to Mob channel, check out my Patreon. That link will be below as well. Of course, hit the like if you did enjoy it. And the only question I got for you, are you down to mob?